Hello, good evening. Welcome to Conversations in the Corner with Latish Corner. I am here with a very special guest. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Okay, I go by Mo, short for Mohammed.
Okay, Mo. So, what do you do?
I'm an accountant. I'm a senior accountant. I work remote, so it's pretty. I don't have to worry about going into work. And got more time to myself. Yeah, different mindset of working from home versus have to go into work, especially with this Houston traffic.
Oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and then it gives you more of a space mentally to be able to give to that special person, right? Because a lot of times when you have to deal with that traffic and just the daily work of you not mentally, emotionally not being there, you have to have a time to just kind of decompress, right? So since I don't have to make that journey, I'm able to give more mentally and emotionally.
okay. I love that.
Yeah.
So, how long have you been in Houston, or are you from Houston?
I'm originally from DMV. I was born in Washington D.C. Grew up in North Virginia. And then I was in the Marine Corps. Spent some time in Okinawa, Japan. The little bit of was in North Korea. Then came back to the West Coast, which was kind of like my first introduction to my adult life. Because I got there in my 20s, so that was like the first club scene and my first car and all of that stuff. So shout out to the West Coast. Love the West Coast.
Okay. So, how long have you been in Houston?
I've been in Houston since probably about 2012. I had graduated, got my degree in finance. I didn't want to work government jobs. So I was like, well, let me see what the opportunities out there. I went on Indeed.com. I seen that they had a lot of jobs in Atlanta. Then I was like, and I seen Houston. I was like, well, let me just try Houston. Right. And man, I love it.
I was going to say, do you love it?
I love Houston. Houston is, it's so much to do in Houston. There's a lot of us out here without the drama of, the drama what we have in the Midwest and the East Coast. I mean, there's been times I'm in the club where I bumped somebody and they bought me a drink.
Right.
That would never happen on the East Coast.
Right.
Never. We don't get down like that. So, and then of course, there's beautiful women out here. The women is plentiful out here. I tell guys it's too many.
And it's crazy, and I think that's why a lot of men in Houston have a hard time being on their best behavior because they have access to so many women.
Well, I would say that goes both ways. I mean, with women having access to social media and Instagram being one of the number one dating platforms, it's the same thing. Back in the days, guys could just play the field, right? You mess with your little city girl or whatever, had your fun, and you just go get your little country girl or whatever. Now that country girl has access to everybody, right? So, you used to have to worry about women being in the club. Now it's social media is 10 times worse.
Right.
And they can do things without ever getting caught. So I think it's just as bad. I think that for men and women, for those who are attractive, I think what happens is you end up setting the bar too high for yourself, right?
You think?
Yeah, because what it is you take a little bit from this person, a little bit from that person, and then you say, okay, and the next person is what I want. But that's a perfect person. You're not a perfect person, right? It's not like every time you move from a relationship, you get better as a person. A lot of times we play victims, right? So in actuality, our value decreases, right? Unless we added or became a better version of ourselves.
Right.
And I mean better version of ourselves of being more attractive, right? So all the things that your former partner complained about, you changed.
Right.
And most of us are not doing that. I think most of us, what are happening is we're taking the good things that we've gotten from our partner, wanting another partner, but decreasing value and attraction, right? Because we haven't been working on the things that we need to do to increase our attraction.
Right.
Because again, we're playing victim, right? So I think that's another piece right there. Also, too, it's times have changed. Men were motivated to get married because of lack of access to sex, right? 40s, 50s, whatever. You're in a small town. That's not the situation now. Now that women are not being shamed for having sex and going after desires, there's a lot of men that would be married that look good doesn't have to settle now, right?
I think you just solved a question that a lot of women have. I think that right there just solved it. Because a lot of women are like, why aren't men getting married anymore? And why should they?
Well, I tell this to women, and I'll ask you this: what can I not get just being in the situation versus being married?
Well, that loyalty, that teammate, that unconditional love teammate, like somebody that gonna hold you down.
Marriage is not going to make a person faithful, man or woman.
No, marriage not. But that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to, that contract that says that we're partners, we're building our empire together. That's what it's supposed to say.
Well, I'm glad you brought up empire. It's, how is it that we can build an empire when we haven't been raised to be teammates? We've been raised as men and women to be individuals. Let me go get mine, not get mines and build with somebody. So that's we're not.
Some of us were raised that way.
I think most of us are raised that way, right? Well,
not me.
Well, okay. Well, you may be the exception.
And I might be the exception because it's a lot of selfish people out here.
I don't think it's selfishness. It's just that when you're in a relationship, there's compromise. Your role changes, right? So let's just say for basketball, right? We have this game of we play 21, right? Where it's just you playing against everybody, right? So it's all on you. You don't have to pass the ball. Everything is on you. When you get in a team, you have to make sacrifices, right? So that's what happens with men and women coming. There has to be sacrifices. But a lot of times women may see them sacrifices as that man restricting them or putting boundaries on them, right? And feeling like, well, I can't be me. Well, that go both ways. I can't play the same role I play as a single man as I in a relationship, and vice versa. Like, it changes, right? Some things I may have to take a back seat in this relationship and allow you to take lead on, and vice versa, right? Because if I'm in a relationship, right, and I'm with a woman and she's excellent at math, and and we have a situation with math, I'm not going to try to take lead on that. That's you. That's what you do. Like, prime example, my ex-wife, she was IT, so anything when it comes to technology, whatever, hey, I'm all ears, because that's your field.
Right.
That's what you do. So I just feel like most men and women are not built to be teammates. It's more they just want to be in a relationship but still be an individual.
I can see that.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because the biggest complaint when women make is, well, I don't need you. Like, there's nothing that you bring to the table unless you're paying all my bills. And that's fair. That's absolutely fair. But then there's the other side. I don't need to be married to you or be in a relationship to have sex. Hell, I can have threesomes without being married. It used to be back in the days, you got married and that was kind of like your gift. Now we doing that without marriage.
Right.
So what's the incentive?
What is the incentive?
There is no incentive. I'm going to say, I don't think it's no incentive for those men and women who are very attractive.
Right.
Right. For those who are 5s and 6s, and I think the issue with the 5s and 6s is I think they're at their 8 and 9 because they're listening at the 8 and 9s, but that's not the reality of it, right? Because here's my thing about it. If you're truly an 8 or 9, man or woman, you're going to pretty much get the same things that people are getting in a relationship. They have to compromise, right? If you're not getting that, you're not an 8 or 9 in the sexual market. You can be 8 and 9 to yourself. There's nothing wrong with that, right? You should believe that you're the best version of who you are. But that doesn't mean nothing to the opposite sex or who you're trying to attract.
So what advice would you give? Because there's a lot of single women out here. And like, I have a friend and she's tired. She's tired of dating. She's tired of the going back and forth with me, and she's just tired. What advice would you give her?
Well, here's the issue. She has to understand what she likes and what she doesn't like, right? And what she's willing to do to get the man that she wants. Because all men and women have standards. And I think that's what the issue is, right? You don't want to meet the standards of the man or woman that you want, right? Because you feel like, hey, I shouldn't have to do that. And I think that's really the issue, right? I think for women, it really puts them in a compromised situation, hookup culture, right? Because most men are allowing you to act in a way that they would never tolerate in a relationship. So a lot of women go through relationships with men that's fake, because he would never allow you to dress, say, or do the things that you do if y'all was in said relationship. But if we're just having fun, why do I care? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do I care if you kind of disrespect me here and there? You know what I mean? Why do I care if you got all these red flags? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, excuse me, sorry about that.
It's okay.
So, I mean, why would I care?
Wow.
I mean, just think about it. Most women, I would say 80-90% of women who deal with men are in a fake relationship. Meaning that man is not acting the way he would act if he was looking to build a relationship with you. Because he doesn't have to. There's more reward for a man to allow you to talk and do what you do and have this so-called freedom and just play the game. Right? Like today's dating scene, all I have to do is sit around and just listen to a woman talk. Let her talk about her job and, you know, her ambitious or whatever. This used to be the other way around. Why? Because the woman was supposed to be interviewing the man.
Right.
Now it's me interviewing you. Would put you at a disadvantage, right? Because you're telling me all things you like and you don't like, and I just play the game. Okay. And then to you think, oh, he listens to me. He gets me. He supports me, child. All this. Okay, yeah. And then you get in said relationship and then you look for this guy to lead and it's not there.
Right.
Because he was never that dude. And even if he was that dude, the likelihood of him choosing you would be slim to none. Right? Because if you had that type of characteristic as a woman for a man to lead, you wouldn't be doing most of the talking. You would do most of the listening. Why? Because you're interviewing him for a position, like what you're doing right now. Right? That's how it should go. You should be interviewing the man for the position.
But most women don't do that.
They're not. Because it feels too good for it to be the other way around. Right? Because women have been told, oh, well, you know, men has suppressed your ideas and haven't been letting you speak your truth and et cetera, et cetera. So now women out here just, okay, that's cool at work, right? Because that's where you get your money at, right? That's what you need to do. You need to prove yourself there. That's fine. But when you get at home or when you're dealing with men, you should turn that completely off.
So what advice? And because you did already give me the advice.
I would play dumb blonde. Because men are problem solvers.
Yeah.
Right? If you want a man to lead, you need to see how well he problem solves. And what better way of figuring that out just playing dumb. Because it's not costing you anything.
Right.
Like, women should really be up on game right now because guess what? Your safety net is your job. So why are you taking any type of leadership role whatsoever with men? Why? For what? It costs you nothing. It costs you nothing to be total submissive to a man when you meet a man that you like. Why not?
Okay, so this is the problem. Because I agree with you. Like, you giving me some gems. Don't think you said nothing that I disagree with. My thing is, it's hard to relinquish sometimes. And I'm getting ready to say something stupid because I was going to say it's hard just to fall back and be submissive.
It is. But it's not the man's fault.
Right.
It's not the man's fault. The issue is because you're forced at work to play that aggressive role. See, women didn't fight to be free as women because if they fought to be free as women, then they would be able to be feminine at work. Y'all fought to be just like men. That's the problem. And now you're 8 hours, 10 hours at work or whatever, and now you got to turn it off at home. That's next to impossible.
Right.
It works for a man. Because a man is supposed to be leading and take
to do.
Exactly, but it doesn't work for you.
It does not work for
me. But you're trying to blame the man. It's like it's not the man's fault. You've been conditioned by the job, and not only that, the job has set the tone of being organized and how things are supposed to be run. So now, for you to be submissive to that man, not only does he have to pay the bills, but he has to be at that level at your job, if not higher, right? Because you wouldn't deal with a job 8-10 hours and then come home with a man that's not at that level, if not higher. Because you'd be selling. And so men are looking at us like, okay, what am I getting out of this again?
Right.
And then you have some men say, okay, well, let's go 50-50. And women like, well, I'd rather pay 100%. What? That's crazy. And here's the thing about it. You know, the biggest employer of black women is Walmart. So for all these women that are working at Walmart, retail, or, you know, shout out in the healthcare that's not making that money, like the RNs or whatever, like, why would you not go 50-50? So you rather live in the hood, ducking and dodging bullets, or live in a dangerous environment than, you know, going 50-50 with a man and living.
What's the benefit of me going 50-50?
Financial security, a better environment.
But if my environment is, if I'm already happy
but you're
with my
not,
environment.
But most women are not living that way. Most men and women are not living that way. If I pick up, if we Google the average income, right? It's not all that.
Right. So, but for me,
but you're the exception to the rules. I'm
the exception. Okay.
And so for you, it's even harder because your selection. If you make more money as a woman, of course you have a lifestyle that you want to maintain. That makes sense, right? Like, who would want to downgrade? However, you have to put in more work. The woman who's not living that lifestyle that works at Walmart is actually the prize. Because she's easy to be able to be kept.
And pressed too.
Yes. She's not trying to die at Walmart. Like, Walmart is just a job for her. She's not tripping about it. Like, she's like, please let a man come save me. Versus the woman that has a career and is like, yo, this is my life. The woman who has the career, who makes X amount of money, is the least desirable in the market and has to put in way more work.
Right, and I think you just told me why I'm single.
Yeah, because you do too much. You do too much. You do too much. And it just is what it is. But you got to understand that the government, when they pushed the feminist movement, it wasn't because they were about women's right. It was to get you in the workforce.
Right. And we were stupid and just fell for it.
Yeah, and guess what? Y'all spend more money than men do. Think about it this way. Think about now that women have jobs, all the extra houses that had to be built, all the cars that had to be built. And it grew the economy because these are all things that men have to build, basically. You know what I mean? Like, this is male-dominant fields. I mean, even the dog industry benefited because of women. 50% of owners of dogs are women now. And then think about the extra money women are spending so far as getting their dogs groomed.
Clothes, everything.
Think about brunch. Brunch would not exist if it wasn't for women.
I love brunch.
Think about that. Think about all the traveling that's going on.
All the girl trips. But you know, men are getting in on that too now, though.
I mean, men been doing that.
Yeah.
Men have been doing that. But now that you have women working, and they have been doing it for a long time, that is extra money that's been coming to the industry. Because again, men have always been traveling. You know, they've been doing the things overseas, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's also has increased too because women are going in bunches and men are like, all right, well, let's go in bunches too because we can link up with some girls, et cetera, et cetera. But again, that would not be going on if it wasn't for women working.
Right.
I mean, think about Gru's. Gru's would not exist if women weren't doing brunch.
Right. Because it's something different now.
Yeah. And it's not going to stop. Women are not going to stop their lifestyle at all. Right? But unfortunately, it's in conflict with men who want to settle down because at the end of the day, you don't want a woman who's outside like that. And you don't want a woman who has access to men like that.
Whoa.
See, women try to increase their man's value by making that man more attractive to other women.
Say it again.
Women try to increase their man's value by indirectly making him more valuable to other women. Like, I give you a prime example. Like, if he doesn't travel, you want him more world travel. Well, him being more travel makes him attractive to most women. Why? Because most women travel.
And I agree. I agree with you.
Men do the opposite.
Right.
Right? We're trying to protect what we have. Right? So we're trying to restrict the influence of other males with our woman. Y'all do the opposite.
So
most women do. Because anything that you pretty much do as a woman to increase the value of your man in your relationship is most likely increasing the value of him with other women.
Mm-hmm.
Men are totally opposite.
And I'm gonna tell you, I'm glad you said not all women are like that. But I'm gonna tell
most
you,
are like
most
that.
are like that. But I'm
because the thing, if I'm going to get more money, guess what? There's more women that I can attract.
But I'm gonna tell you something I've been knowing since I was. That's how I know God like really touches me. I always say I'm never. You know how some women post their man, they can't wait to post their man on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you a free commercial, sir. You're not gonna get a free commercial on my page, sir. Good luck with that. Because you're right. What am I posting you for? So she can inbox you on the side. Hey,
Facts.
cutie.
Facts. And I've told
because she didn't even want you before she seen you with me.
And I've told my own girls that are married, I'm like, look, stop trying to increase the value of your man for other women. Mm-hmm. Let him be the same. Let him be the same. Just deal with it. Because if you improve him, he can leave you. Then what?
So that right there. So what you're telling me is,
and that goes
don't try to build my husband. Don't build my man because he might leave me.
Man or woman.
So just let him be mediocre.
Yes. 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 Because that person is dealing with you because of the level they're at. Mm-hmm. They may not be attracted to you at a higher level. And that goes for man or woman. So what you're saying is if I show him his worth, it's better for you. He might not think I'm worthy of him. Exactly. Because you've opened a whole nother world to that person. And that's man or woman. It goes both ways. Women have lost weight and like, oh, okay, I can get this guy. You know, this guy wasn't a factor before. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you this. Because I go back and forth to the gym. Mm-hmm. And when I'm in the gym, sloppy dudes irritate me. Yeah. Okay. Now, when I'm not in the gym and I'm eating all my Hershey bars at night, I don't really care. But when I'm in the gym, I was thinking about the other day, I seen a dude and I was like, the nerve of me though. I only been working out a month. But that's, okay, so let's get into what Mother Nature does for a woman, right? Mother Nature always wants you to have something when it comes to reproducing at your level or higher, right? Mm-hmm. So when women say, hey, I don't want to settle or I want this, that's Mother Nature talking to you, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. Right. But your pool becomes smaller and you end up sharing a man. So that's where religion came in, right? And said, okay, we don't need to focus on Mother Nature, your instinct of what you as a woman or your instinct that you as a man, but it needs to be resolved around family. And that's where religion comes in at, right? But since we've thrown religion out, you know, and our traditions out, this is where we're at as a society. Right. Everything is based off sex. It's based about attraction or how I feel, right? And so that's why we have the chaos we have. That's why they say there's piss in the pool. Why? Because it's feelings based, right? There's no sense of, oh, if I'm a man, I got to do this, or you're a woman, you got to do this. It's based on how I feel. If I feel like it, I'll do it. If I don't, oh well. Right. And women are like, well, that sounds sassy. Well, if you expect men to be into their feelings, this is what you get, right? Because if I'm in touch with my feelings, what women are saying that men need to do, then it's how I feel. It's not a sense of duty because I'm a man. Right. Right? And then you can't say it's a sense of duty as me as a man do X, Y, Z if you don't have a sense of duty as a woman. It goes both ways. Right? Mm-hmm. So I think we're in this generation of or this culture where everything's based off how I feel. Right. And it's cool, but it needs to be 50-50, right? It needs to be, yes, I want to do these things because I love you, I like you, etc., etc. But at the same time, there also has to be a sense of duty. Like, because we've been dating for so long, this is what I should do as a man or woman. We don't have that. Right? Right. It's how I feel. And the minute you don't make me feel some way, I'm blocking you, I'm deleting you. You're not wrong, but what am I supposed to do if you're not behaving the way I need you to behave? Because I'm not a blocker. I will tell you this. I'm not a blocker. I feel like that's female stuff. Even though I'm a female, well, here's the thing.
I don't believe in a lot of blocking. Right?
Women have the power up front. Why? Because men are the hunters. We're hunting you, right? So whatever standards women set, men are going to follow, right? But there are a lot of women saying, hey, I just want the attention, right? Because beauty is the Achilles heel of a man and attention is the Achilles heel of a woman, right? And so we'll throw out everything out the door, out the window, whatever, when it comes to those things, right? And so that's what's happening. Women are like, hey, I'm getting the attention I want. I care less if he is the foundation of a man that I could, be my husband, et cetera, right? And the same thing with men. She got this big booty, she got this BBL, she a little bit, she sent me some pictures, whatever. I care less if she's wifey material, right? Again, it's going back to our primal nature, right? So until we get back to religion, until we get back to a certain level of standards that the men are supposed to abide by, we're going to continue to have this chaos that we have.
So how do we get back there?
There's going to have to be an environmental factor, and I think the environmental factor is going to be AI. AI is going to hurt more women than it's going to hurt men. Why? Because there are a lot of positions that women are mostly in that are going to be replaced by AI. It's going to affect men too. I mean, I'm an accountant. It's going to affect my field, but there's way more women in my field than there are men at the lower level, right? So I think once you start messing with people's paycheck, then people will be like, oh, well, maybe we need to be together, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going to happen. But right now, because we have choice, it's not going to happen anytime soon.
So what advice would you give the 55-year-old woman that is still looking for love?
She can find love. Any woman can find love. That's. Can you find love by the man that you like that? No.
So are you telling her to lower her standards?
No, what I'm telling her to be realistic. Right? You have to, because here's the thing about it. The road does not get easier as we get older. Right? It's cool, and I talk to women who work a lot, and I'm like, okay, are you going to be the same way at 60, 65, 70? Like, do you really want to work for corporate America? Or you really want to be out here hustling and bustling to 60, 70? Like, is that what you want to do day in, day out? And the cost of living is only going to get more expensive, right? So you're going to have to work even harder. Is this what you want?
So what you telling her to do?
Go get your man.
But if that was so easy,
it is.
But
it is.
It's not.
It is. There's always a one-eyed man out there, who's willing to drink your bath water, et cetera, et cetera. Men don't have it that way. Y'all choose to be single. It is a choice. Men don't. It's not like that way for us. We have to work and get somebody.
You know what? I disagree.
Well, men who are attractive, yes. Okay? But even a woman who's a 2 can get married. Because there's some man willing to do whatever he got to do. Yeah, exactly. As long as he getting some, he good.
So you saying the women who are out here complaining about they can't find a man, they full of it.
They can't, no. What they can't get is the man they like, they can't get him to marry her. Yes.
But they can get a man. They just can't get the man they want.
Every woman can get a man. It's just, can you get the man that you like? And that's a skill set issue. Yeah. And see, women don't want to take accountability for that one. It's easier to just say it's men. No, it's not men, right? Because you can go out there right now, some white man, some black man, some Hispanic man out there, like, what you want to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? But then it's the other side. Do you really like him like that? Does he have the conversation? Does he have the stroke game that you used to? Because is that not important?
It's important.
Okay. So those are one of the downfalls women have to deal with when it comes to experience, right? But what are you willing to give up? Because at some age you might get dried up. You got to take that into consideration, right?
No.
It may not be working. It may not be out like it used to.
It might not be out. Let's pray. I rebuke that statement, God. Let's pray.
You might have to aid it in getting wet, that's a reality. Just the same thing with men,
I know.
Yeah, and that's real common with men. I'm having conversations with men in their 30s and 40s talking about back. I'm like, what? What's going on?
And they don't even realize they messing themselves up though, because your body will get it. They don't need it. They taking it because they trying.
They do need it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because one, they're not getting the exercise they need, and 2, they're not eating right. You're eating all this processed food that is damaging your testosterone. It's damaging your blood circulation. So yes, they do. What they need to do is they need a better diet. which is you need a woman at home cooking.
I agree.
Right? And a lot of the things that women are going through so far as these cancers and these foods and everything, it's the same
They
thing.
need to be at home cooking. I agree.
Exactly.
Because
It will
it's a lot
resolve a
running
lot of
around.
issues.
Yeah, it's a lot of running around, eating McDonald's, eating Wendy's,
Mm-hmm.
on the run, and not really. I'm learning that. Like, instead of doing that, but I haven't eaten that stuff in a while, but
Yeah.
the strawberries and the yogurts on the side, because you're right, you can get wrapped up in it really quick.
Mm-hmm. Convenience.
Convenience. That,
Yeah.
And I was that for 20 years.
Yeah.
Just grabbing whatever I could grab at a convenience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, dang, you gave me a lot of information.
Well, I'm glad I could help. Glad I could do that.
So, what do you expect, like, for the next 5 years for you? Are you trying to get married?
No. I thought I was. So when I got divorced, I was like, well, I'm going to go younger. Because I had a lot of young girls trying to holler at me. But then I realized, like, they wanted the same thing as the women my age. They still wanted to have kids and get married. I'm like, girl, you only 23, 24. What are you talking about? Like, you got 10, 15 years to decide on this. And so, yeah. I think I'm just going to devote my life to mentoring men. And I think that's another issue with society. I think that those who have the knowledge, male or female, are not mentoring and holding their sex.
Oh yeah,
right?
I agree with that.
Right? Because it's not my responsibility to get on women about what they are not they're doing or what they're not doing. Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a woman's job, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my job is to make sure men are mentally and emotionally at the level they need to be at. So when they get in a said relationship, you know, they have a strong foundation. I think that's not going on. I think a lot of men are acting in feminine energy. But again, I mean, if you have households that's led by women, what would you expect, right? You can't expect men to be masculine and they have no real male role models, right?
I completely, and I have a 17-year-old son, and I have to remind him of that. He doesn't have a lot of feminine things going on, but I have to remind him of his emotions sometimes. The reason why you're acting like this is because your mother is in the house. If you had a father that was in the house, you would be able to handle this differently.
Well, I always ask mothers, are you raising your son to be the man that you would be submissive to? If you're not raising your son to be the man that you would be submissive to, you can't really say you're doing a good job.
And that's good. But I will say, I'm going to tell you.
You really can't.
That's a good, but I will tell you what I am doing. I don't know if I can answer that, but what I will do is I'm raising him to give direction so women can listen to him. And I listen to him. I give, like when he you know me.
Yeah.
So sometimes I do act a little goofy.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gives me direction, I don't fight him on that.
Mm-hmm.
I let him, even though he's 17, he fusses at me about certain little things like locking the door. I don't lock my car door sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll fuss at me about that. And I'll just lock my car door instead of going back and forth with him because I want him to know what it feels like for a woman to shut up.
Yeah.
And just listen.
And that's good. Yeah. That's good.
I don't want to, because I know, some mothers like, shut up. I don't want to, I want him to know what it's like so he can know when disrespect is being served, it's time for you to go. We have that conversation a lot.
Yeah.
Because he has you've seen my temper a little bit. He has my temper.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't want, women know how to do that. They'll latch on to a man with a temper and do things to set him off.
Yes, because it's an emotional roller coaster and it keeps a woman mentally and emotionally stimulated, even though it's negative.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I have to remind him, women who do that, that's not the woman for you. Because she's supposed to, I feel like, relax you a little bit more.
I think all women are toxic.
No, we not. No, I'm going to tell you why. Me for a perfect example.
Have you ever dealt with a bad boy?
Yeah.
That's a toxic relationship.
No, but that's now that I know. You said all women are toxic. Now,
because most women have dealt with a bad boy or dealt with a man that was a half boy.
Well, we don't go in the situation thinking, oh, he's a half boy.
Y'all having conversations with your homegirl from day one about this dude. Come on.
We don't go in.
Come on. Let's
We
keep
don't
it
go
real.
in. I'm trying.
Let's give it
I
real.
don't think we go into the relationship like,
You
okay,
do.
he's a bad boy.
Of
But
course.
not now.
Of course.
Maybe
y'all
in the
do.
20s.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, homegirls is telling you that he ain't worth nothing.
No, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I'm gonna tell you something. Sometimes, and God, thank you. God has blessed me with some really good men,
Mm-hmm.
and I will be honest. Some of the relationships that went south were my fault.
Oh, that's some honesty right
Thank
there.
you.
You need to put the big girl drawers on.
Because I know I don't like to listen sometimes,
Okay.
and I think I know it all.
Okay. So that right there is what needs to be part of the sisterhood. You need to make sure that you have younger ladies under you and explain those things.
I try.
Yeah, that's what needs to happen.
I do try.
Just like for my responsibility as men is they need to get rid of this feminine side of them,
Yes.
right? Like I was watching a video clip and it made a very good point. And he was talking about how men are being feminized. So, you know, they have these constant situation where they're talking to the woman of interest or whatever, and she's talking about her problems, but he never steps in to solve it. And but she doesn't create that space for him to do so, right? Because a lot of times you will have women who just want a man to listen, but then you're not allowing me to operate in my masculine energy, right? Because men are naturally problem solvers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there shouldn't be certain conversations that women just have with other women. It is what it is. Nothing wrong with that. I can't replace that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's why you need a sisterhood,
Right.
And it used to be, you know, your family and my family, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know, we, for whatever reason, it's not there no more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But as a man, for me to feel important, for me to feel my role in this leadership role, for me to be invested, this is what I need to do on a regular basis. Just like you need to express your feelings, I need to express my self-worth. And that's problem solving.
Okay.
Right? And that allows you as the woman is to say, okay, to be able to lean on me, to be able to step back, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if our conversation is generally me just listening to your problems,
Mm-hmm.
then how am I able to perform?
Mm. Hold on. You know what? We're going to do a part 2 because I know a lot of people don't want to watch a 40-minute podcast, so we're getting ready to do part 2. Hold on one second. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a good night.